that everyone can hear me okay. I'm going to open a chat in a new window and make sure everybody's here and everybody can hear me. Hi, if you're just joining us now on Periscope, nice to see you here. And we should be on YouTube broadcasting live. Welcome to those of you on YouTube. I'm Rob Booker. Thanks for being here. And very much looking forward to today's show. We're going to talk about making $1 million, which is pretty much impossible, and it's a ridiculous topic, and I can't imagine anybody ever being successful doing this. And I'm going to pull up the link for the show right here, and I'm going to make sure that there is audio on that. If you want to let me know that there's audio on that on YouTube, you can just let me know that you hear the audio just fine. And I'm going to post something on Facebook. Live broadcast starts now. And that is going up right there. And I might put this up on the page as well. If you're just getting ready here, welcome to Periscope. Welcome to the YouTube broadcast. Very happy to see you here. I am just posting these links. Live broadcast starts now. And there we go. That should be working. Audio is good. All right, everybody can hear me okay. Wonderful. Spectacular. Let's do this. Let's make sure on Periscope nobody makes a phone call and interrupts what we're doing. And that should be just fine. And I'm back over here on YouTube. Welcome to the show today, everybody. I am so excited to be here with you. Thank you for joining us. If you're live on Periscope over there, go to thebookerreport.com. I'll only mention that once every few minutes in case people on Periscope don't know where I'm directing my attention to this camera right here, which is the YouTube streaming camera. So happy to see you here, everybody. Welcome. I know some of you are here from all over the world. And I know that you've seen the broadcast page today, and you know that what we're going to talk about is making $1 million in 1 month, which is probably not even possible and is kind of a super ridiculous goal. But why not have one day where we can talk about something as ridiculous as making $1 million in a month? Why not? Why not have this conversation between ourselves? This week on the Booker Report, all week long, we've had this interesting conversation, this what if scenario. What if, and then you just allow yourself to dream. You allow yourself to just think openly about what's possible. My name is Rob Booker, if you don't know me. Hello, it's nice to meet you. I've been a trader for 17 years. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not here to tell you that I turned $5,000 into 30 million. I'm not here to tell you that I have all the answers for your life. I'm a regular dude. I live in a regular house and I have ponies in my backyard and I love my children and I trade for a living because I want to take care of my family. I have no interest in Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Swedish supermodels or whatever. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm not the answer. I'm not your answer. I'm not your guru. I'm not your mentor. I don't have I'm not going to solve all your problems. You're going to solve all your problems. And I do these presentations because I think it's entertaining for you to watch somebody who actually does trade make their decisions. Instead of somebody who wants to sell you something that costs $200 a month or $3,000 up front, instead of watching some jerk with a hidden agenda who never shows you anything that they do, I thought we would have a regular series of conversations where I show you what I really do and we talk about it, and maybe that'll help you because I care about you. I do a business talk radio show in the United States. It's on in 7 stations in Dallas, Houston, Phoenix, Palm Springs, San Francisco, Sacramento, and Honolulu, Hawaii. And the podcast is listened to thousands of listeners all around the world. And we had, I think, in our first month here, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter how many people downloaded. I think we had 3 downloads. We didn't have 3 downloads. We actually made iTunes' What's Hot and brand new podcasts of interest episodes, and I think we had about 50,000 downloads so far since the beginning of the. Well, who cares? Who cares about all that stuff? Let's have our conversation for today. I don't know how I got off track. Sometimes it's useful to think about doing something extraordinary. Sometimes it's worth fantasizing about making a lot of money, even if all that happens is you make a little bit less than that fantasy amount of money. Sometimes it's worth having a conversation where we just dream big. There's no danger in that. There's no cost for doing that. It's free to daydream, and I think it's productive. Some of our best ideas on how to make money in the financial markets don't come from business television or from some book like Options as a Strategic Investment, which is better used as a weapon than it is as an actual book. You could leave it in your kill room if you're Dexter, and you could use the book instead of, you could just read them the book. You could just read, here's the first chapter of Options as a Strategic Investment, and then their head starts to bleed out of their eyeballs. A lot of the information out there about the financial markets is so difficult to understand that maybe it's not even useful. And I want to present to you this question. What if my back were against the wall and I needed to make $1 million in 1 month? What would I do? How would I go about that? What strategy would I employ? Well, first of all, I need to give you some warnings, and then I need to show you how I would do it. Here are the warnings. This is not actually possible. This is not actually something you can do. Second warning, trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Most people who trade lose money. Most people who lose money lose all of their money, just like any person gambling at the Las Vegas blackjack tables. And in some cases, people lose money that they can't afford to lose. They lose their rent money, their mortgage money, their food money, or whatever else. I want to be serious as we start. I joke around a lot, but today's episode is about a high-risk approach to trading and investing. Do I think that it will make you $1 million? No. I think whatever money you put forward in this methodology that I'm going to share with you is going to lose every dollar that you put into it. Why would I teach you this? Because I think it's fun to have this conversation. And all week long, we've been talking about trading systems that are not far-fetched and actually could possibly work. So why don't we have a far-fetched conversation? And in order to do that, I'm going to need to use some charts. So if you're over here on Periscope, I'd like to invite you to go to thebookerreport.com. That's my website. And you can go to that website and you can watch this on YouTube Live, and you can see the charts that I have, and the audio quality is even better. And it will be archived on YouTube, and it will be archived on the bookerreport.com homepage for quite some time. So if you're on Periscope, welcome. I love you. Get your buns over on YouTube by going to thebookerreport.com. If I needed to make $1 million, let's say that somebody stole the ponies in my backyard and said, I will bring the ponies to the railroad yard at 12 a.m., midnight tonight. You bring $1 million in the back of a pickup truck in unmarked Mexican peso bills, and I will give you back your ponies. Here's what I would do. First, I would look at options. Options have a significant possibility of rapid appreciation, so that if you are right in your options trade, you can theoretically spend a very small amount of money for a very theoretically large payoff. What happens to most people that trade options? they lose. I would use options because we can determine when the most amount of volatility is likely to occur. And that is around earnings. So today, I want to share with you exactly what I would do. And in order to do that, I need to share with you my screen. And if you're watching on Periscope, I love you. I love every inch of you. I love your trader brain. And I would like to invite you personally to come to the website, thebookerreport.com. And on the homepage of that website, you can watch this on YouTube right there with the video on the homepage. And also on the homepage, the homepage will say, would you like to allow thebookerreport.com to send you notifications? And I will only send you a notification maybe a couple times a week. But it's a way for me to stay in touch with you. It's pretty slick, I will add. Now we're going to switch over to the charts. And if you're on Periscope, you need to go to thebookerreport.com to watch the presentation. All right. Welcome your comments on YouTube. Your questions on YouTube are welcome. I would love for us to be friendly with each other on there. Here's what I would do to start. I would go to finviz.com. Finviz is one of the best financial websites in the world, and it allows us to screen for stocks. And we're going to do a stock screen right here, and we're going to pull up a list of stocks which have the potential to make a big move at earnings. And we're going to be able to drill down and make a list of these stocks using the screener on finviz.com. What I'll do now is increase the size of the words on the FinViz homepage so it's a little bit easier for you to see. If you're watching on Periscope, you need to go to thebookerreport.com and you can see my screen. And now on FinViz, we have to watch this stupid video, which we don't want to watch. And now I'm going to expand again. This is the FinViz stock screener. It allows us to, in a world where there are bajillions of stocks, it allows us to screen for stocks that meet a certain number of important criteria. And let's do that right now. Under the descriptive panel, we want to look at earnings dates that are in the next 5 days. So this is going to give us a list of stocks automatically that are going to have earnings in the next 5 days. We're also going to look for stocks that are trading on the NASDAQ. That's a technology index. You're going to have a lot of biotechnology companies on there and some technology companies. And those are ones that are going to likely move a lot. We want to take a look over here at option/short and say that these are optionable financial instruments. That means that these are financial instruments that have options for sale on them because we want to trade options. Average volume needs to be over 50,000 shares a day, or else there's going to be a stupid list of stocks. And we could even do, let's do this, average volume over 100,000 shares. That takes it down to 119. And we're going to do stocks that are under $7. And so we've got 59 stocks. Now that's still too many stocks. I don't want to look at 59 stocks. So I'm going to look at fundamentals. And I'm going to say that I want there to be well, I don't think I care about any of these. Let's go to technical. Beta. I want stocks that are going to have a high beta, which means these are stocks that tend to move a lot. They tend to move more than other financial instruments out there. And then let's go back to descriptive and let's choose stocks that have been rated a buy or better by analysts. Aha! Now we're down to 25 financial instruments. This is good. Now we could look through a list of 25 stocks together. Do we want to look at a list of 25 stocks together? I don't know. I mean, what if we went to over 50K? We're going to expand that to 30 stocks. We could look at 30 stocks together. And we could look at recommendations that are a strong buy. Maybe that's only 5 stocks. Wow. Okay, we need buy or better. And what we've got here is a list of optionable stocks that are under $7, that have a pretty reasonable volume, that are optionable, and have earnings in the next 5 days. That's pretty awesome. I like that list, and here's the list. ABUS, ALXA, AMCN, and so forth. Well, today I spent some time looking at these financial instruments on my charts. And let's go here and let's take a look at the stock screener again. And what I will do is move the screen to my tradingview.com charts, and then I'll put my watch list over to the side, and I'm going to plug a few of these right into tradingview.com, and we're going to take a look at these. BDSI was one of the lists from earlier, and I actually bought options on that today, and I'll show you what I did. Okay, here's just a few of them. I'm going to show you what I did today on BioDelivery Sciences International Incorporated. Here's the chart, and you should be able to see this chart on the YouTube screen, and I'm going to make it a lot bigger so you can see the candles and everything. There we are. You can see much more of this now. As you can see, tomorrow we have earnings on the 10th, and the estimate is 55 cents a share, and it's for the period ending November 20th, 2015. Now, what I did next was I went over to TD Ameritrade. I bet we see an options chain on Yahoo. Even easier. There we go, BDSI. And I went to the options chain and I looked for a $5 strike on the options, on options that expire next week. And I'm going to zoom in here and I'm going to show you this option. What I did was I found this one, and this is the situation. It expires on the 18th. This is the contract name, and I bought it for 9 cents. It's now trading at 10 cents. And it's for 10 cents, I bought an option with a strike price of $5 that expires in about a week and a half. And what am I doing here? I'm buying an option that is, in other words, a bet that the price of BDSI is going to jump up after earnings, and that my investment of 10 cents could turn into 15 cents or 20 cents if it jumps up a lot after earnings, if they really beat on earnings. That's it. That's the whole thing. And I took this trade today because I'm a maniac, and it only cost me $90, so it's not like there's a bunch of money being at risk here. Like I said, high risk, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So what you could do is you could do that stock screen, and you could look for stocks that have earnings in the next 5 days, like ABUS, trading at $3.88 a share. Do I think that ABUS is a good company? No, I don't think that ABUS is a good company. I don't know anything about ABUS. I just hope that basically their stock jumps on earnings. So here is the ABUS $5 strike that expires a week and a half from now on the 18th, and it's trading at the same price my other one was, 10 cents. So basically for 10 cents a contract or $100 to make one trade plus your commissions, I got it. You could get into something like that. Why would you want to do that? Like I said, if my back were against the wall and I needed to make a whole bunch of money, that's exactly what I would do. Now this is interesting. This is ALXA, which is getting close to earnings and trading near its monthly pivot, and earnings are coming out on the 14th. All right, well, let's take a look here. ALXA. And we'll look at options. And for those of you that are familiar with trading options, I know that I sound like a complete dummy to you. Today is Fantasyland, all right? I'm not talking about iron condors or iron condoms, or I'm not talking about any of that stuff. I'm not talking about spreads, or I'm not talking about all that actual real options trading stuff. I'm talking about when you basically want to be a complete maniac. And no one should want to do that. Okay, so this is ALXA, which is trading at 47 cents a share. And this is apparently an optionable thing. What if we wanted to trade the $2? No, what we want to do is we think it's going to go down. So we think, oh, there are no, that's hilarious. There are no options under $1. So forget that idea. That stock is probably going to go down after earnings, and we don't care about it. This is Air Media Corp. I can't verify that earnings are actually coming out on that chart. This is APRI. And this already had earnings, it looks like, today. And it looks like earnings came out and nothing happened, which is always a danger, that nothing's going to happen after earnings. Sometimes it takes a day or two after earnings for something to happen. Here's one, ATHX, trading at $1.89, and earnings are tomorrow, and that's trading way above. I would like to buy a put on ATHX. ATHX. We'll look at the options book on this. We're going to look at puts, and we're going to look at the $1 put, and we can buy the $1 put for 5 cents. Now, can we get out of this trade? I don't know. Can we even get into this trade? I don't know. But if I want to spend 5 cents because I think that this stock might fall, I could make a bet using options that is completely ridiculous. Today's show is all about being ridiculous. If you're with us on Periscope, my website is thebookerreport.com, and you can join us over there at the website and see what we're looking at on the screen right here. I didn't say that this is a real options strategy. I didn't say that this is something that I would recommend that you do. I didn't say that I would even do it on a regular basis. But I think that it opens up the conversation. That is there a way to look for financial instruments that are about to pop after earnings, and could you do some of the homework on your own? Could you become great at this one thing? Yes. Could you make $1,000 a month doing this? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes, you could make $1,000 a month doing it. Could you make $1 million in a month? No. Probably not. But could you use something along these lines to look at a one defined period in time and one type of strategy, an option which is out of the money, not currently valuable, that people have kind of written off as not valuable at all, and maybe there's a surprise that comes out at earnings and that option doubles or triples in value, or quadruples or quintuples in value. Is that possible? Yeah. You could build an entire strategy around optionable stocks with reasonable spreads on the options, with a low commission broker, and do a scan on FinViz, and focus on stocks that have historically had a big jump after earnings, and you could probably dedicate 2 weeks of your life of serious and dedicated and substantial research. And then you could probably build that in. You could probably create that into a strategy for success. And are you going to get rich off of that? I don't know. Are you going to be able to buy 2 shirts that look exactly the same with your profits? Yeah, probably you could do that. Yeah. Okay, now I'll get on YouTube and we can talk about some questions. Jonathan is here from Spain. Barry is here. If you can make 100K from 1K, then you can make $1 million from 10K. Absolutely right. If you've got a question, you can reach me on YouTube. You can also text me, although my phone's being used over there, so I can't really get your text message. Super happy to see you, Alex and Nimmer and Petrinia. Very happy to be with you today. Thank you for joining us here on YouTube. Thank you for joining us on Periscope. I'm so happy to be with you. Think about it. Think about the possibilities when you're trading. Sometimes out of the most outrageous possibilities come some of the most interesting trading strategies. My name is Rob Booker. You can find me at thebookerreport.com. This is our live broadcast for today, March 9th, and it's the radio show and podcast for tomorrow, March 10th. Bye, everybody. Thanks for being here.